welcome to episode 3 of the Potheads podcast. Today, our topic is another movie. Yes, I'm sure eventually we'll get to non-movie ones, but who cares? I mean, I'm just having fun and...
For sure. Yeah, definitely.
Got my dad here with me, of course, as per usual.
Before we start, I just want to give credit where credit's due and say thank you to my kiddo, Iris, because she wasn't expecting this, by the way. But she does all of the editing. She does all of the recording. She posts the stuff. She runs the whole podcast. She runs everything. I just get to come here and have fun. And as I say, show up and throw up. We just talk about stuff. And it's like nothing but fun for me. And she puts in all the hard work. So round of applause. She won't hear you guys clapping, but I will. So anyways, maybe give her some love in the comments because she's the one who makes this happen. Okay, on we go.
Thank you. So today our episode is going to be about the movie Boy Kills World. It stars Bill Skarsgård and I'm trying to remember her name. I don't know. The girl from Happy Death Day and the girl from X-Men.
It's also got the actor who plays Murray on Stranger Things.
Yes.
Who's like a sub-character kind of.
Okay, so Bill Skarsgård, Jessica Roth, I think is how you say it, and then Brent Gelman. Which, by the way, he's on Instagram if you want to check out.
Brett Gelman.
Yeah, Brett Gelman. Yeah, and of course they have like the other side characters. And
I think it's pronounced Sharito Copley. He was on District 9, which is a pretty cool sci-fi movie. Maybe check that one out too. So yeah.
And that girl, whatever her name.
Famke Janssen.
Yeah.
I know her from X-Men. She played the. Obviously, I don't know her from X-Men. She played
I know you're
Cyclops' girlfriend and Logan's love interest, who he never wound up being with.
Yeah.
What the heck is her name? She turned into the Phoenix. Everybody's screaming at the screen right now because they're like, "Come on, Brian, it's blank."
I don't remember.
Yeah,
but I remember
Jean Grey. That's right.
Yeah.
I just started looking it up, and my brain finally worked.
Of course.
Oh, and apparently she was Xenia Anna something on the Goldeneye movie. So yeah, that's.
And also, she was in a show, which I think is really cool. She was on a show with Bill Skarsgård called Hemlock Grove.
Okay, I gotta check that out. Still, I haven't seen that.
It's rated R.
She's on an even more adult show called Nip Tuck. I'm sure some of you guys have seen that one. That's very adult, so be careful if you watch it on.
Scenes that are not for children on both of those accounts.
Fair.
So, yeah, you know.
Okay, so yeah. Also, getting back to the movie, very gory movie. Lots of buckets of blood, murder. If you've ever seen the Mockingjay movies, what are those? Oh my gosh. The guy from RV's in it, and he plays PETA. Or PETA, or however you say it, PETA.
The Hunger Games.
The Hunger Games, yeah.
Right.
It reminds me a lot of the Hunger Games, the way the plot of the movie's set up, because they have something similar. Instead of the Hunger Games, right? We love him. It's called The Culling on this movie, right?
Yeah.
And that's where they like pull random people out. Maybe not so much random, but people that are against the established order.
Right, exactly. It's almost like...
And murder them.
Right.
They don't have a chance to fight for their life. They just get killed, I guess. So
exactly.
A little bit different.
So yeah, that's pretty... There's definitely some gruesome, gory scenes. And although it's a good movie, but yes, it is R-rated. There's no... I don't think there's any, like... sexually explicit
right
scenes.
It's pretty much violent,
but it's just it's very violent, very dark. Basically it's about this boy who I don't want to like immediately give it away at the very beginning of the podcast, but what it is this guy.
There's going to be spoilers ahead. Right. I'll just interrupt to say that. I apologize for the interruption, but spoilers ahead. So if you haven't seen it, maybe go check it out and then come back and listen to us talk endlessly about this movie we really like.
Right, exactly. But yes, there's definitely spoilers. So there's this boy basically who has been taken from his family. He believes at the time that his family was killed by the people that do the culling.
Mm-hmm.
But later you find out it's actually not true. But he believes that that's what happened, was that his little sister and his mom and probably his, I don't know, they never really explained that much about his dad.
They kind of just show his sister and his mom get murdered in front of a crowd of people in the city as part of the culling. For whatever reason, he either gets shot or doesn't get shot. But he just remembers his mom gets killed and his sister gets killed, and he's holding her hand. And you feel there's this really rough scene where you see her little hand slip out of his hand after she gets murdered.
And he's very young at that time. He's probably like, I don't know, 9 or something.
I was gonna say 10ish or younger.
So it's obviously very hard because his sister's younger than him, and he feels this need to take care of her because the dad's not around. But he basically is taken, and because he thinks that he ran away basically after that whole thing, and he's found in like a forest / jungle type thing, like setting by this guy called
the shaman,
which he then teaches him how to fight. So he basically he was actually abused by the shaman, but he didn't really understand that at the time.
Right. They show like a whole sequence of him getting like the classic 1970s and before kung fu training.
Right.
Learning how to like fight against, swords and knives and guns and stuff, and how to actually utilize those weapons, which, is pretty interesting.
Right.
They show a bunch of training sequences.
Which I believe that this movie is based off of a game, is it not?
I'm not sure about that. Let us know in the comments if you know.
I'm not sure. That's just what I've heard, but I feel like it would make a lot of sense if it was. Because, Anyway, another Lionsgate film. Great. Lionsgate's really been cranking the movies out this year, honestly.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the boy, he loses his voice. So he's deaf and he's mute after traumatic incidents that he does not remember.
Yeah, his hearing and his ability to speak get taken from him.
Yes. So then he becomes deaf and mute. And he doesn't really get out much. He just basically trains like constantly with this shaman. So he basically learns to, like you said, become like a fighter. And he does go out every once in a while just to get like certain things and see the outside world. But he doesn't obviously really communicate with people that well. Like it says he can read lips. Like in the movie, he hands like someone a note that's like, oh, I can read lips. But the people, what do you call them? The calling?
Yeah,
the people that do it.
The people that have all the money and control of society.
They were basically saying like, oh, you're a little boy, you shouldn't be here.
Right.
And he gave them the note that says like, oh, I'm deaf and I'm mute, so I can read lips though. And it's actually so cute when he does try to read lips throughout the movie though, because a lot of it he doesn't get right. He does get some of it right, but it's very funny. It adds a comical sequence to such a gory and dark movie.
Right. And I have to interrupt one more time.
That's fine.
Because if we go any further and we don't mention this, Andy is going to lose their mind.
Yes.
The whole thing that makes this movie unique and funny, besides what we've discussed, is he has an inner monologue.
I can't remember what I sounded like back then. Super Dragon Punch Force 2. Player 2 has entered the game. That's why I gave myself this super cool voice.
Yes.
And there's a narrator of the movie that comes from his mind.
Right.
And the funny part is, it is voiced by the same guy who does Bob's Burgers. So his inner monologue is the voice. It sounds like...
Which is hilarious.
Right.
It makes
because
it perfect.
If you've seen Bob's Burgers, the guy sounds very nasally and like his sinuses are blocked up.
Yeah.
The whole movie.
You can do a good impression of it.
He talks a lot like this, and he'll be like, oh, I'm going to have to fight these guys, and I can't actually figure out what to... It's just so funny.
It is.
It adds a great element to this movie.
It's hilarious. Andy is my sibling, for those of you who don't know. and they absolutely love Bob's Burgers, the TV show.
So
it's
yeah,
like a
the guy that
cartoon
does
show.
that voice is H. John Benjamin, and he does basically, in my estimation, the same voice for Boy Kills World as he does for Bob and Bob's Burgers.
Yeah, it's like the exact voice.
It's so funny. Like, that is what, besides the fact that you love some Bill Skarsgård, and I'm pretty fond of the gent myself.
6'4" Swedish guy. What's not to like?
Not hard on the eyes. He's a good actor. He's got real range as an actor.
Mm-hmm.
His whole family's making some great movies to enjoy. Yeah. And then to add the fact that Bob from Bob's Burgers
is the voice.
H. John Benjamin is doing the voice. It's just funny. Like, I saw the preview of that. I don't remember if it was you or Andy that showed me, but I'm like, yes, we have to go see this.
Yeah. It was, I think it might have been Andy.
Yeah.
I think.
Might have been.
And
yeah, just a funny idea, a really good kung fu flick.
Definitely.
And gory action sequences, and then the funny element of that voice being the inner monologue.
So, it basically you find out at the end of the movie that the voice is from this arcade game that him and his sister played when they were little.
That's right.
Which I think is like super cool that they ended up showing that that's how he got his inner monologue. Because like I said, he's mute and he's deaf. So he believes honestly that his mother and his little sister are dead. But he does have this thing where, because the shaman, he does a lot of, it almost looks like, I don't know what it is, psychedelics or something.
Yeah, it reminds me of like peyote, because it's smoked and then he's like blowing it in the boy's face and it's making the
like
boy
salvia
see things.
Or something.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Some sort of.
But it's basically a
psychedelic.
Hallucinogenic that is smoked in the movie. It could be a fictional thing. It could be based on something. I have no idea.
Right.
Because, I don't do research. I just like talking a lot.
And I just like saying right a lot. Right.
Right, totally. And sometimes I say, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah. 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 Yeah, he's basically trying to alter the boy's perception of reality.
Of who his mother was and his sister. But he has this thing where he sees, like, eventually he starts to see his little sister. I think the first scene's like she's like eating cereal or something, and he's like, do you guys hear that? I can't do the voice, but it's pretty funny. And basically he sees his little sister. So what he's trying to do is he's trying to get big and strong and grown up and learn to fight so he can fight off these people that he believes is to blame for his family's death.
Right. It's a story of avenging the murder of his mother and sister is what it looks like. And then as the movie unfolds, like we said, it's not what you think it is.
Yeah. So basically there's this scene finally once he's learned how to fight and he was finally like, the shaman said he still wasn't ready, but he felt ready. And we don't know this little boy's name at the time, but now he's not such a little boy. We just know that it's Boy. That's what the movie says his name is, even in like the closed captioning, Boy.
Yeah, and it's actually the name of the character too.
Right.
Which is interesting.
Right, I think that
they never give him a
name. They never
give
like an
boy.
actual. Yeah, so
he is the boy.
He's Boy. It's not like Baby Driver where they're like, oh, your actual name's Miles.
Right.
Right. So it's like his name's literally just Boy.
Oh, don't get me started on Baby Driver.
We
Love
should
that
do
movie.
a podcast.
We
about
could
Baby
do,
Driver.
yeah. Maybe we'll do that. Like, that's another good movie.
That's a great movie.
Yeah.
But so he eventually just kind of says, all right, I'm done. I don't want to. He's like learned this language. It doesn't look necessarily like ASL. ASL is not a physical form of English. It's like its own language in itself. So I'm not sure exactly what type of. It almost looks like some sort of signing though. So because there's like a multitude of different signings,
right?
That can be done. So he learns this language and he basically tells the shaman, he's like, all right, listen, I am not gonna wait anymore. I'm gonna avenge. Like, this ends right now. Like, I'm gonna avenge the people that were killed, my family,
right?
Because of this one person who he believes is the killer,
right?
So, because there's a scene where some girl, like, gives him a flower, and he's, obviously, at this point, he's, like, fully grown, and he's, like, he ends up having to, he says, all right, I'm done, I'm leaving. He, against the shaman's advice, he leaves.
Right. He thinks that the Vanderkoy family is the ones who murdered his family.
Right.
And so he's specifically going after Hilda Vanderkoy, right? Which is the matriarch of the family.
Right. She's like the woman leader of the group. So, yeah, basically.
So he's seen some of the culling going on.
Right.
He's seeing what looks like innocent people getting struck and shot down in the street by this family and their team of militant thugs, basically, that follows them around and pulls people out of audiences and shoots them, which is the part that kind of reminded me of the Hunger Games.
Right.
Because it looks like it's just at random, but it's basically people that the I just said it, the Vanderkoys feel like are against their family and the orders that they're trying to enforce.
And eventually he goes out and this girl gives him like a flower and he sees, boom, another action of the culling taking place. And then eventually he's like, all right, I'm done. He sees that, like, he looks like he's almost like got like brain fart, gotten in trouble. And
definitely, if you're not in their family, you could be someone. And if you're going against what their wishes are. So it's almost like if you were trying to go against a military faction or something.
Exactly.
They're going against what the wishes of that government that's in place is.
Right.
Or at least this rich family.
And
the movie kind of also reminds me of that video game series, not GTA, but the one that's like GTA. I've played it before, and now I'm drawing a blank. But it's oh man, it's a game where they have like the Super Genki Bowl on it, and it's got you basically go and you do competitions where you're like trying to kill people or whatever. There's a commercial. They show this stuff on live TV when they do a culling, right? They televise like commercials for like Frosted Flake type cereal. Not Frosted Flakes, but it looks a lot like if you mixed Captain Crunch and Frosted Flakes together.
It does, yes.
There's like a pirate and they're like killing people. It's crazy. I can't remember the name of this game, but it looks like it had something to do with maybe they had taken some artistic creative of this game. I'll look the game up. It'll take me an hour, but I'll get there. It's like a old school kung fu meets Krav Maga.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Because there's like empty-handed combat, and there's weapons like, you know, spear, knife, sword, and guns, pistols, and whatnot.
Right. And so he ends up basically getting away, and
the name of the video game was Saints Row. There's multiple of them, but it reminds me a lot of like the Genki Bowl from Saints Row when they're filming the culling of the commercial.
Right, yeah. And what something you see that it does kind of grab the viewer's attention is that every time there is a public, I don't even know,
execution? Yeah.
It's not the girl that's supposed to be the leader. It's not the what the heck's her name? I feel like we just said it and I already
it's not Hilda Vanderkoy. It's her sister, because you find out later that Hilda is actually kind of like a fractured mind person. Like, you can tell she's been through some stuff.
She lives in like a bunker, basically.
Right.
She never comes out.
Right.
And he has like this...
So it's her sister, Melanie Vanderkoy, I believe.
Yeah, and basically the person that does all the like public
PR stuff,
announcement stuff is her like husband, which ends up getting killed.
Yeah. Who is the Glenn Vanderkoy, played by Sharedo Copley.
Yeah.
And then her brother's also involved. Brett Gelman plays that. It's Gideon Vanderkoy. So it's pretty much Gideon, Melanie and Melanie's husband
are
Glenn.
all running it.
Right.
Which you start to believe, like, okay, that's kind of weird. Like, why is it that the girl who's, making all these public appearances, not really making a public appearance?
Right.
It's more so, it's like her image is being shaped and formed by someone that's not her. It's more like the actions that her people do for her.
Which we've seen that in a lot of movies, and unfortunately in real life too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sadly. But it's interesting because basically Boy gets away and he's like, all right, I'm gonna go find Hilda right now. Mm-hmm. And he runs into the security. Issue with the security is that it's pretty good security. They're all trained.
Yeah.
With a different fighting style type,
right.
Thing. And it's not the same
a lot of it's your typical like mercenary where they can
mm-hmm.
fight hand to hand, but a lot of it's firearm related.
Right. Like they're like soldiers.
Exactly.
And they're protecting Hilda's name. Right. So basically he ends up meeting this guy. What the heck is his name?
I think it's him. Basho.
Or Basho. I don't know how you say it.
Yeah, Basho.
Yes, ends up meeting this guy. Now, remember, he is deaf and he is mute, so he can't really communicate with this guy. But this guy's trying to tell him, wait, don't kill me and stuff like that. Like, I'm on your side, buddy. I'm also hating these people. Like, trust me, it's good.
He looks like he's going to get put in the coaling
mm-hmm.
or something. He looks like he's a captive of the family. Right. The Vanderkoys.
We need to work as a team here.
Team? I've never been on a team.
You push forward with that, bam, and I'm gonna get behind that car. I'm gonna do car stuff. Yeah. Go!
Look at me, part of a team. Wait, where'd my team go? Right, doing cart stuff.
Yeah, my name is Basho. It's like Bash. Oh. Yeah. Anyway, it would help you with all the fighting, but bad knee. So what I do, I figure stick to my lane. I'm gonna do cart stuff.
Right. The cart. Do we need this?
Yeah, it makes sense to me.
So you find out, you're like, okay, so they end up becoming kind of like friends and they work together. So he's
Basho is played by Andrew Koji. I think that's how you pronounce it.
Oh my gosh, it was so cute though when he's like, you know what I realized about you? You never talk. I like that. Or whatever he said.
There is a lot of funny dialogue between these two characters.
So
the inner monologue.
Literally.
And of the narrator.
He basically fights and he has a bad knee, by the way. So Boy's like, okay, I'll take they come up with this idea, like, I'll fight these bad guys off. This one guy is doing like drugs or something. He's like literally he's crazy. He can fight. He got his arm ripped off. He literally
he gets like stabbed and shot. His
jaw was broken. He just kept fighting. It was crazy. But he took out this whole like army of soldiers. Army of soldiers that were protecting Hilda.
Mm-hmm.
So eventually that happens, and they accidentally kill the. I think it's Melanie's husband.
Yeah.
Accidentally kill him because they were trying to get information out of him, and the guy that Basho
is
he's like, I'm done with your bull crap. I know you're lying.
Right. So Glenn Vanderkoy is defeated. He's on his back and he's kind of rolling over on the family, saying like, "Oh yeah, they make me do stuff I don't want to do. Right. I'm on your guy's side." But meanwhile, Basho's got a huge vice like you'd have on your workbench.
Crazy.
So he's holding it, and you can see he's struggling. Yeah, it's a big one. It's
too heavy, and so Bash was like, hold on, don't kill this man because he has information that we want.
Right.
So he's like, okay, because like I said, he can read lips, kind of.
Right, and so he's nodding his head.
So he's like, cool, like, I understand, we have an understanding, I'm not going to kill him.
Right.
And he accidentally, when he starts saying, like, I'm on your side,
he's
and
like,
I want to help you, I'm going to take you straight to Hilda.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Boom, drops it on his head.
Smashes it to bits. Him.
He's
so funny.
Gone immediately.
I mean, it's horrific,
and you should
but you just laugh too.
Their faces, like, they're like, I'll put a clip in there, but they're like, oh my gosh, like it was a total
Yeah.
accident. It
He
like,
does
did
something
not
like
mean to do that.
his hand was sweaty or it slipped or
yeah,
something.
he's like,
Sweaty palms.
I see that.
and so that's what Boy thinks is his name, I think, is Sweaty Hands, because he calls him Sweaty Hands later
I
in the
didn't
movie.
catch that. That's hilarious.
It's so funny because Boy, he's like, wait, what? So Sweaty Hands? And he's like, okay, so basically they end up thinking, okay, there's this other guy that comes. So now there's like 3 people. It's Boy, Basho, and this other guy, Benny. And sadly, Benny and Basho both die at the end.
But there's some hilarious bits between
It is.
Benny, Basho, and the boy.
Because they're like, listen, we're sick of this, and we're gonna make a plan. But you have to, in order for like a deaf person to even like lip read, you have to understand that they need to see your face.
Right.
But these guys don't even know really that he's deaf and mute.
Right.
So they're like looking at they're saying all kinds of crazy stuff to him.
Yeah, they
It's
have
so funny.
They have like a whiteboard, so they're
It's-
looking at the boy
yeah,
and they're
it's like-
talking, and he's getting most of
And he's
it.
like, cool, I got you.
And then Benny just says this outlandish stuff. It's a bunch of words that don't belong together in a sentence. It's so funny.
But
You
he
gotta see
doesn't
it.
know it. So he's like, what the heck?
How are you, mate? Where is everyone? Where's the rest of the team? Apple camels.
Apple, what? That can't be right.
What are them? Hey? How? Dodo buns for long limbs.
Uh-oh, can't read his lips. Is he mumbling in a different language?
They will, hold on. What about Yamai? Where is she? Yamai. Momo parking lot.
Probably not saying that. Maybe if I concentrate, I can...
Pick up our briefcase.
Something about pickles.
Snookle boom top top.
Are these words? I don't...
Dodo buns for turn to bird.
Dodo buns sound fun. Uh-oh. Oh, wait. Dodo buns are not fun. I've never heard a grown man cry. Not sure what it sounds like. No, that can't be it. I'm sorry about the dodo buns.
And he's like, got it. Like, he just kept, like,
Yeah.
nodding and acting
Yeah,
like
yeah.
he knew what they were talking
Oh, this
about.
makes sense. Just this plan will work itself out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Benny's plan comes in. Take it away, Benny boy. Go robot guitar the biscuit.
Hold on.
Sea diver handman. Bladder dance. Yeah, nuns.
Yeah.
So, finally, they all come up with the plan. It's like, cool, we're gonna go and kill Hilda. So, he has to dress up as a chef. He keeps seeing his little sister, like, in his
His
imagination.
deceased sister. He sees like images of her. She talks to him. They interact.
Right.
It's really sweet and
It
sad.
is. And because they always talk about, like, running away and, like, they have a bunch of cute moments together.
Right.
Like, fake flipping off the statue or whatever.
Right, like most siblings, you guys
Right.
have your own language you speak together.
Right.
You have your own inside jokes. A lot
They
of
have,
that
like,
happens in
the
movie.
rainbow drawing of, like, how they were gonna escape the pirate
Right, it's like a
place or
map.
whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
Super cute.
Super cute.
But so he's like, okay, you need to leave. Like, you cannot be here right now because, you know.
Brothers got to get down to business
Right.
and start killing
And
bad guys.
she's like, of course I can talk. You just never ask me any questions. But
What the hell? How'd you get here?
I don't know.
You talk now?
Of course I talk. You just never ask me any questions. Now that we ditched the cranky old man, I can do whatever I want. I don't like that guy. He smells like old milk.
I'm not here to play games. I'm on a mission.
Ooh, I like missions. We should wear disguises. I'm gonna be a ninja, but with butterfly wings.
obviously, it's in it. It's like
It's all in his head.
right. So
It's like a coping mechanism.
Right, exactly.
But it's really funny because she's this cute little girl, and when he
she
starts
tries to get like a
doing
disguise.
yeah, when he goes undercover as the chef and he goes to the compound where all the bad guys are, she shows up in a ninja outfit. It's
Right.
so funny.
With like butterfly wings or something.
yeah, it's so funny. I don't remember. She had a tutu or something also.
Yeah, it was crazy
So,
outfit. She's
you
like,
know-
oh, there, I blend in. Like,
So funny.
so he has to dress up as a chef, and he's like, wait, why am I a chef? And then like basically, he can read the lips of the other people, right?
Right.
So they're all like, oh, we need the creme brulee plated or whatever. And he's like, creme brulee plated? Why are we plating the creme brulee?
Yeah, what does that mean? I don't understand.
Start plating the creme brulee.
I don't know what that means. How do I plate a creme? Why am I creme plating?
Don't blow your cover. Just act chefy.
What is plating creme brulee or something like that? He's like, why am I the chef again? And then anyway, so he starts going up the stairs, like shredding cheese. What?
Yeah, just onto the staircase. 'Cause
Right.
He
trying
looked
to
like he
blend
was
in.
a chef working, but
Right.
he walks away from the workstation.
So
he's
up
shredding
the,
it
up
all
the
over
stairs,
this mansion.
He's just shredding cheese, and then he sees these macarons, and his sister's like, "Bro, like we should eat some of this."
Ooh, macarons. Try one. Chefs eat things.
Fine. One macaron. But then I need to find... What was that?
Macaron?
That's delicious.
Eat more. You're a chef.
Strawberry. Caramel. Vanilla. So soft and squishy.
Which, if you don't know, is a pretty amazing cookie.
Yes.
And your sister Andy loves macarons.
To make them, yeah.
And makes them, eats them, talks about them. So it was kind of another funny element for our
Right.
family.
And there was like it was like a whole plate of them, like just sitting on the staircase.
So he's used to eating like bugs and dirt and all
Right.
kinds of horrible stuff.
Outside
when the shaman
stuff,
was
yeah.
training him in kung fu.
And so he's like, well, I'm not just gonna like eat these. And she's like, well, you're a chef, and chefs eat what they make, right?
Yes.
So he ends up, there's this whole funny scene. I love Bill Skarsgård's impressions. Like, he could really be on a comedy movie.
Oh yeah.
And he makes like these funny faces. He's like, oh my gosh, it's so good. There's like strawberry, vanilla, caramel, like.
You literally, when he takes the first bite, he gets caught by surprise, and you just see
There's this
Skarsgård's
hilarious
face
face.
light up
He's
with
like,
joy.
oh my gosh, that's delicious. He ends up eating so many of them. And then he's like, I'm never gonna get caught. Like, so.
Yeah, Basho shows up. He's at the bottom of the staircase,
And
and
he's like,
trying
you
to
need to go. You need to go upstairs.
Skarsgård's
and
got
go
a
around.
mouthful of
And
macarons
he's-
at this point.
And she said, the little girl says something like, I think he's mad at you or something.
Yeah.
He was just saying, go upstairs, go around. And he's like, I'm talking every flavor macaron in his mouth.
He spits one out because it's still hanging out of his lips. It's pretty funny.
He's like, oh. And then so, he ends up like taking his disguise off once he finally gets into like the dinner scene.
Right.
But the thing was, so he immediately like chops this girl's head off.
Right, which
And everyone
it
starts-
looks like it
The
is,
mom, like
Hilda Vanderkoy,
But it was not Hilda.
who's the one he thinks killed his mother and sister.
And so everyone's freaking out. The only real person at that dinner table was the grandma,
Right.
which is so funny. And basically, this girl gets her head chopped off.
Yeah, who's an actress.
Who's just
In
an
the
actress.
movie, she is a person who is an actress playing one of the
Right.
Vanderkoys in this fictional universe.
And the guy that, the uncle, you don't find out he's Boy's uncle till later, but is, Melanie's brother.
Yeah, Gideon.
Is crazy because he's like, I just spent all this time setting up this dinner, making this, like, entire, scene.
Right, because it's
Take
scripted, it's fake, and he lets Boy know that he set that up because he knew eventually someone would try and come and overthrow the Vanderkoys.
Right.
That's right, they're all actors. Huh? It's only a matter of time before somebody tried taking down the Queen on culling day. Hence, the elaborately staged family dinner scene written by yours truly.
Right. So he's like, okay, like, you got it. I don't know. I get it. You're mad. We're all mad. He
Right.
said something like, she's my sister. You don't think that I, like, want to kill her too?
Right.
So, later it's like, okay, there's this whole scene where, basically this girl tries to, like, I guess interrogate what happens. And so Melanie comes in and it's like, because Boy got caught, Melanie comes in and it's like, listen, you killed my husband with a vice, which is crazy. And you would think she'd be like, oh man, that, like, it's really sad I lost my husband. But instead she's like, do you know how hard it is to find the replacement within an hour?
Do you have any idea how hard it is to find a replacement host 1 hour before airtime? I spent years shaping Glenn into what he was, you petulant little shit.
Right, a replacement host. So she's not upset the love of her life or
Is
whatever
dead.
got killed, murdered. She's
Literally.
just upset that now to do this
She
TV
has to
show,
find someone
she's got to
else.
find someone else and
And it's like,
retrain
what the
somebody.
heck? So then, they're all basically talking, and he's like, I'm not gonna give you like any information. I'm just trying to kill Hilda. He's like, did I kill the wrong Hilda? That was so funny.
Right, picks up the severed head and looks at
Yeah.
it. Again, the movie's graphic, but the way they present everything, it also just makes you laugh.
Right.
If you can get past all the fake blood and
Right.
and mutilations and stuff, it's pretty freaking funny.
It is a very funny movie, and
So I think Beatrice Vanderkoy was the grandmother sitting at that table.
yeah.
Is that her? Okay, so,
think so.
that was played by Dorothy Ann Gould. And let me just say, she is a total B-word in that movie.
she is.
It's hilarious.
She's very.
Somebody just got their head severed in front of her.
And she's just
talking
complaining.
smack,
She's
complaining
like, I
about
want
it.
to watch my TV shows. And he's like, in a minute, Graham.
Empty show out here.
You're still going on about your damn kiddies' play.
It's fine, Graham. Just go back to sucking on your mango. Graham's real, just easier to keep her here.
Yeah, shoot the damn hobo so I can go and watch my shows.
I'm dealing with it, Graham. Just go back to eating.
Right? Oh, man. I want to watch my TV shows. Can we get this over with?
It was pretty funny.
Yeah.
So she doesn't even care. Nothing's happening right now. She's just like, I want to go back and watch my TV show. I don't even care. And
Yeah, at some point in the movie, an assassin who goes by June 27
comes
shows
in,
up.
which is about
And
this
she's-
time.
yes.
Because she starts questioning him.
Right. She's wearing this motorcycle helmet that flashes up, English words because she doesn't talk at first.
Right.
So, like, it's very Japanese animation to me, the way they present that.
Right.
It kind of reminds me on the Fast and the Furious 2 when the girl that drives the Suki, I think she's got the Honda 2000, the pink one. She also has the anime version of her on the dashboard.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah, it reminds me of that because like all this stuff will flash up on this motorcycle helmet, words
Exactly.
and phrases and stuff. But she also knows like Krav Maga and Kung Fu. And
But
she's
it's like, it's weird. It's like a different style, but she recognized
the shaman
style.
And
I'd recognize it anywhere. You were trained by the shaman. Where is he?
his style in the boy.
because Boy and her were like fighting. And
Right.
at the time, you find out later in the movie that's actually his sister.
Right.
But he still thinks his sister is dead.
Right.
And so he doesn't quite understand. So of course he's like, he sees, I'm pretty sure it was during like right after the macaron scene, right before he gets taken upstairs and
Okay.
tries to kill, Hilda or whatever, the fake Hilda that he killed. He falls down because the little girl's like, oh, she's pretty. And then that's when he like falls down the stairs.
Ooh, she's pretty.
And speaking of which, may I just say, June 27, played by Jessica Roth, hubba hubba.
She is pretty. She was in Happy Death Day and Happy Death Day to You.
All right, I'm gonna have to rewatch those because I mean that actress. Whoa,
She is very pretty.
she's young, but yeah, she's pretty.
She's gorgeous. So I'm gonna have to put pictures. But yeah, no. So basically, that's how they basically meet. He falls onto a table, absolutely demolishes the table.
Oh
breaks
yeah,
it.
she kicks him or something from the second story because
Yeah.
there's this whole cool fight sequence. Y'all will see it if you check this movie out.
Yeah.
And she like teep kicks him or front kicks him over a balcony, I think, and he flies
Yeah.
off, gets put through a table like he's in a wrestling match.
Mm-hmm.
And then, you hear a little of the monologue from the Bob's Burgers guy, his inner voice, and then he passes out.
Yes. So, which again is so funny that it's the guy that voices Bob's Burgers. I love it. It's very funny.
It adds such a great
It
element to
does.
the movie. It's so
And
funny.
not that there's anything wrong with like Bill's voice. He has a very nice voice, very American, Swedish. But
yeah, you want to check that out? Watch him in The Crow. Another great movie.
right, another great movie that came out. Also, Lionsgate, I believe.
Probably. They
They've
make good
been
stuff.
coming out
They
with some
don't-
good movies this year.
They are not afraid to make stuff that is, you know, gory, spooky.
Right, definitely not.
Yeah, they'll show you the goods.
Yeah. So going back to like the scene where, anyway, basically what happens is June and Boy get into this fight eventually after he was being interrogated, and finally he finds like a way to escape. And I think it's because of Basho. I think he somehow comes in and like makes a distraction or whatever.
I think you're right. And later you find out that Gideon actually is so tired of the culling, he gives Boy something to pick one of the locks
In his
with.
pocket.
Right. It's like a file or something.
He's like, all right, listen, I'm not going to kill you. You know, I get it. But he gives him like a weapon thing. So
Wait,
Let's see how far that tenacity gets you.
this family needs therapy.
when we see later he gets knocked out again, I'm pretty sure by June 27, and he wakes up on this stage where Hilda is like just supposed to be reading off of she's making a public announcement thing in her like own theater.
Right. It looks like New Year's Eve or something.
Yeah, so she's
but it's
supposed to be
culling
reading off of the
teleprompter.
but she just goes off script
Oh, yeah.
totally and starts talking about this and that, and we have to, you know, continue killing people and stuff, which is like
And she sees Boy,
right,
but she doesn't recognize that as her own family. She
Which
just
it
says,
is-
wow, you guys look a lot like us. And she
right,
means
exactly,
all the people that
which
kill
is
them.
crazy. Like, do you see? That's how they blend in.
They look just like us, don't they? That's how they linger among us. The invisible sickness spreading from the inside, infecting everything.
Little did
Right.
she know, Boy is actually her son.
Dun dun dun.
So later, yeah, so he's like, okay, that's right. He gave, like, the guy, what's his name again?
Basha?
Yeah,
Oh, Gideon.
or Gideon, yes. Gideon gives him, like, this, like, thing, so he cuts his handcuffs off the whole time, which takes forever. A bunch of people are getting killed. They're like, oh, this
Yeah,
wouldn't be
the culling's
available
happening.
without our sponsor, which was, like, this...
Some cereal
Some
brand.
cereal,
It was
like-
crazy.
What sponsor makes tonight possible?
The fuck?
Here they come! Pineapple Patch! To the frosty part. Who's coming with the super frosty? We got pineapple island.
I don't even know. Flakes, but it wasn't flakes. It was something weird. It was like...
It was a pirate themed
It was
cereal.
some sort of pirate themed cereal that they ate when they were kids. June 27 and
Oh,
Boy.
I forgot about that. Yeah, yeah.
And so they're like, okay, that's just what it was. You always see these like flashbacks of his mom and his sister, but it's actually like an illusion.
Right.
And that all kind of comes out to play. She finally recognizes him after Melanie's like, okay, you need to leave, because she starts shooting a gun for some reason like an idiot. Hilda. So then Melanie pulls her back and it's like, hey, you know, you need to go back into your chamber where you came from, whatever. So you find out later she looks at Boy and she's like, I'm so sorry I didn't recognize you.
I'm so sorry I didn't recognize you.
Be like, you're my son. I wanted to look for you for years, but this is where you find out that neither of them are the good guy / bad guy / good girl, bad girl.
Right.
Because Hilda is just as guilty pretty much as, probably even more actually, as, what's his name? The shaman.
Right.
What happened was you find out the shaman made him deaf by putting these like hot, like, I don't know,
Pokers, fire pokers or
in
something.
his ears.
Yeah, steel.
Which-
Heated steel.
right, which totally killed the hair cells in his, like, where his eardrum is, so he can no longer hear. And same with, like, cut his tongue out, basically.
Yeah, I just noticed the shaman is played by Yayan Ruhian, I think it is, and he does like the the up close scenes and everything where they show him and the boys' interaction.
Mm-hmm.
But apparently Francois Chow, I think is how it's pronounced, also plays a shaman, and I'm guessing he does all the martial arts sequences.
Probably.
Because there's some stuff that Skarsgård does, and it looks like there's some stuff that stuntmen do.
Right.
And the fight sequences are amazing in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, credit where credit's due. Francois Chow too also plays.
Gotta make sure those stuntmen get their credit.
Heck yeah.
Like Fall Guy.
Yeah, there's another great TV show and movie we can talk about sometime. Yeah.
So basically, that's also when June 27 realized, oh my gosh, I just tried to kill my brother. Like, I didn't even realize. And when Boy finally realizes, that's my sister, like, I thought you were dead. That's when everything you start to see. So the mom, Hilda, explains everything. I didn't go looking for you because he told me you were already dead because I shot his entire family, basically. His wife, his kids.
They show the sequence where the shaman brainwashes him to think that the shaman's wife was actually the boy's mother.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Which it obviously isn't.
Right.
But he basically, so the shaman brainwashed him, and Hilda just didn't really go looking for him. It was like, I thought it was useless, whatever. But I didn't even recognize you at first. You're my own son. June 27, obviously heartbroken because she's like, that's my big brother,
Right, and she was trying to kill him previously because she thought he was threatening her family.
Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm. So it's like this whole thing. You find out this huge revelation of everything, like, okay, everything's a lie. My whole life is a lie. And you can really see, like I said, Bill Skarsgård is a fantastic actor. You can really see his heartbreak, like, in his eyes and his facial expression. And he just kind of, it almost looks like he's cold towards his mother. Yeah. His mother's, like, holding him and trying to, like, shush him and be like, I'm so sorry, like, trying to lull him. But he's like, I don't really feel anything for you. And I can't believe that everything's pretty much a lie.
Right.
So
it's weird, the transition, how quickly it happens. Mm-hmm. She wants to kill him because she thinks he's a stranger against their family.
Right.
The mother. Then she realizes it's her own son, and she has regret, remorse, grief. She's overjoyed he's still alive. And then she just kind of flips the light switch back the other way.
Exactly.
When she realizes that his brain is probably mush from all of... I think she even says something about that. He got brainwashed by the shaman, and now he's the shaman's weapon. I know she said that.
Right.
And so then she goes and looks at her daughter and basically tells her daughter to kill her son, which is her brother, right?
And June 27, I don't remember what her actual name is. Which, by the way, is played by the cutest little girl. I love the behind the scenes. I saw some pictures, and you can tell that Bill Skarsgård has daughters because of, like, the poses that he does with her.
Oh, Mina.
Yes, Mina.
Which Mina is played by Quinn Copeland, the younger girl, and Jessica Roth plays June 27, which is the older version of Mina.
So,
which I think is funny because the boy, Skarsgård plays the adult boy, and they have twin brothers. I think Cameron Crovetti and Nicholas Crovetti. I'm sorry for mispronouncing.
Which is funny because they're actually 16 years old. Like, they literally look like they're like 10.
Yeah, and so they used twins to play one of the older kids.
Exactly.
And then just a singular actress, Quinn Copeland, playing the younger one. So it's funny because that character, Mina and June 27 both get two different names.
Exactly.
And then the boy is the boy through the whole life cycle of the movie.
So it's like, bruh. So that's pretty funny.
It's kind of funny.
So, but yeah, so you end up figuring out this whole thing, and later we see there's still this fight going on between people.
Yeah.
And the naughtiest of them all gets a special surprise from our favorite fluffy friend, Gary the Goat! Serial sailor himself, Captain Frostington.
Delirium, a confused mental state that may result in imagery that clearly can't be real.
And it's basically
because
fight to the death of the sponsorship of
right,
this,
which they just want to
cereal.
kill the public. And they're trying to make sure that the Vanderkoys get their way.
Mm-hmm.
But at some point, Basho and Benny show back up.
Right, and
there's
they're
more
in these
comedy.
suits.
Yeah, because they're incognito, right?
Mm-hmm.
The boy was the chef, and then he got captured. But Benny and Basho are still incognito, and they're dressed up like the people that run the culling, characters or something. They're not dressed as the pirates.
Basho is like a goat.
Yeah, it's so weird. He's like
so
a goat
funny.
with an AK-47 or something.
Yeah, it's hilarious.
Machine gun type. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, what the heck? But it's funny because Boy thinks at first that he was like seeing things that weren't real because that's his cereal.
Right.
Right.
And he's been seeing weird
he's
stuff.
like, what the heck? This whole sponsorship is like a literal fight to the death over this like cereal pirate guy.
Yeah.
And it's pretty funny. But so we see Bobby and Basho. Unfortunately, they end up dying. But there's still this whole fight going on while the mother's like, oh my gosh, while Hilda's like, I'm so sorry, I didn't care about you, whatever. Hilda, boom, gets killed. Because June 27, or what's her name? Mina realizes, well, I can't kill you because you're my brother. And I love my brother. So I'm not going to kill you. But they were both turned against each other, little did they know. The whole reason that, excuse me, sorry about that. The whole reason that, the shaman even took him in was because she's like, all right, we gotta get revenge. Like, basically said the whole time that Hilda's the one that killed your parents, which is not true because Hilda is parents. So
right.
It was basically just
I don't remember if they ever speak about his actual father, but yeah, it's pretty much
I
just about
don't think
the
they
mom
did
and
the
sister.
entire time.
And the uncle and the aunt.
Right. So later you find out, okay, they all died. Here's how I knew that it was Basho in the theater though. I seen that I saw the goat kind of walking funny, and I looked over to my sibling and I go, his bad knee, dude.
Nice.
So that's how I knew that it was him, because it looks almost like he's gonna attack Boy, but then he doesn't. Anyway, so June 27, totally, boom, right into the head. Rest in peace, Hilda.
That's right. She kills their mother because the mother's like, oh, he's a lost cause.
Right.
Get rid of him or something. Like, take the garbage out.
Exactly.
Talking about her own son. And,
exactly.
And Mina's
switches
brother.
real fast.
Cold as hell.
Exactly. So eventually, like, now they're both trying to fight. So now June 27, Mina, I think that's right. And Boy, we still don't know Boy's name. Is basically now they're trying to take out all these bad guys, the sponsorships, doing the like killing the pirate thing, whatever. It's so crazy.
That's so messed up. They're like clubbing people to death with like paddles or oars that have like nails in them. So like violent bludgeoning of random people. So
Bobby dies, and then after like everything, you see like not Bobby. What's his name? I don't know.
Benny.
Oh, Benny. Sorry, not Bobby. Benny. Benny and Basho end up dying, but Basho doesn't end up dying until later.
Yeah.
Benny
he makes it out of the fight
gets
scene.
Shot. Gets killed, and then we see the little version of Mina look scared, and basically goes away. Which is kind of sad because it breaks his heart, but at the same time, he's like, you're not supposed to be here. I told you not to be here.
Yeah, he says, I don't need you
You're not
anymore.
real. I don't need you anymore. Like,
Helped us.
No more distractions.
You can't just keep killing everybody.
You're not real.
Listen to me. I'm your sister.
I don't need you anymore.
my sister's dead. But then, boom, we find out June 27th. The whole thingy-mabob happens after that.
Right.
And then, so, you said his name is Benny?
Yeah.
Benny dies, gets shot. Then they still continue on. So what happens is, Basho, or however you say his name, he's like, okay, I'm gonna go and I'll just cover you. Like, I'm already dying. Like, I'm wounded
Yeah,
pretty bad.
at first,
so
when you meet him, he doesn't help. The
No,
boy
not
out.
at all.
He
He's like,
goes,
I'll do the cart or
I'm
whatever.
going to do cart things over here. And it's so funny because the guy from Bob's Burgers voices over goes, yeah, you do cart things. I don't know what they are. I'll take care of these guys. Yeah.
Which is so funny because it's like, bro, that is not a fair compromise at all. But it's fine. Anyway, so Basho ends up getting killed when he is like, because he goes through the elevator is what happens. Boy does. And Basho, or however you say his name.
Mm-hmm.
So then he ends up getting killed, getting shot down, I believe. And obviously Boy's trying to take out all these people. So a video game.
So you're right.
Boy Kills
Yeah,
World was
inspired by graphic novels, aka
yeah.
comic books, and a video game.
And
so
a video game.
maybe we can check that out.
Okay, yeah, that sounds cool. I'm into that. But
So the elevator, I interrupted you.
No, it's fine. Yeah, so basically Basho gets pretty much shot down. And he doesn't know because obviously Boy's deaf, so he doesn't hear that.
Mm-hmm.
But we do see that, like, you know, he could tell something obviously happened, something not good, but he's trying to take out all these guys at the front of the elevator. And then eventually, I think it was like June was like, no, it's okay, he's with me, like, don't go after him, it's fine.
Right.
So then we see, anyway, basically what happens is he turns around and he sees that his buddy is dead. So now the only family that he had for just like literally one day, Basho and Benny, are now both dead, sadly. And they died for him. So
no more funny comments from Benny anymore after that point. Because
exactly.
There's a bunch of them before him.
There's a bunch of them, yes. But then you see, so sadly Dave died. And then June 27 and Boy have this really sick fight scene with the shaman.
Yes, because they have to fight their way out of the elevator.
Right.
Because there's a bunch of the military guys there. And so, they fight their way out. Then the shaman shows up when they're just about out of the compound and free and clear. And like you said, an amazing fight sequence.
Yeah, and then we see also the uncle, like, right before we see that, because he's like, you're going to need this key card. He tells Boy that.
That's
you
right,
find out
Gideon.
that's his uncle, Gideon.
Mm-hmm.
And Gideon's like, oh yeah, my sister Melanie shot me in the back. So, which is, the whole family is messed up, like, literally. So he's like, oh yeah, whatever. It's not I kind of expected it, whatever.
Right.
So,
he just wants out of it. He can't do it anymore.
He can't do it. Like, he literally was like, okay, here, take the thing that you can cut your handcuffs with. Yeah. And then here's the key card so you can literally get into the elevator.
Right.
So, eventually, so now all these people dead, gone, but they have to fight the shaman. So June 27, or Mina and Boy have to fight. And eventually, yes, it's a very long sequence, actually, that specific scene.
Yeah.
Where they have to fight. And at first, Boy kind of just lets June take over. And then it's like, okay, because he was literally, like, the shaman was literally choking her. And he was like, okay, hold on, that's my sister. I can't let her die. So he already thought, she was dead. So he goes in, he steps in. So finally, both of them, yes, they all kind of get hurt really bad. And we see, especially with like this, I don't even know what it was, a tooth or something?
Yeah, it looked like some kind of claw or something.
Just genuinely just tears through the arms and legs of
that part
Boy.
actually bothers me every time.
It's
very
Achilles
graphic
tendon,
and
you
gross.
always freak out.
Oh.
You're like, ew. That
if
makes
there's
you wig
ever
out.
an injury, Achilles tendon injuries gross me the heck out, man.
It is very...
But even when he's digging in
good.
Skarsgård's arm and you can just see him like ripping through flesh and veins and stuff, that's pretty bad.
Yeah, it is. But so something you see finally once they finish it, whatever, there's just this moment that, like I said, Bill Skarsgård is an incredible actor. And he just kind of lays there. He knows June is okay. June 27 is not dead. It's fine. She's injured, but she's all right. And he just lets out this roar. Like, he doesn't have a tongue, it got cut.
Oh, right.
But he lets out this, like, exhaustion, anger, everything in once. kind of roar, and it's really good. Actually, I really enjoyed that both times watching that.
Yeah,
like it's like really deep, and he's just very like confused and angry, and finally he's like, ugh, it's all over. But then he realizes, okay, I still have to get June up. And so that's a very intense and emotional scene. It gives character development to Boy.
Right.
And he's like, okay, let's just start new. Let's go to that place we said we were going to go when we were kids. And we see, like, June kept asking Boy, like, are you okay? Because he can't hear, you know?
Right.
And he can't, you know, speak. But he does have this understanding that now they're safe and they're together. They just have to get out of the building and then go to wherever it is. Which you see at the end, it's like there's the scene where it's little Boy and little June 27 or Mina at the arcade. You see it at the end.
I think I'm a little behind the ball here, but I think a lot of that also probably had to do with the director, Mortiz Moore, because the scream that Skarsgård lets out seems like it's one that would actually happen in that moment. And you wouldn't need your tongue to audibly make that noise.
Right,
It's very
you just
guttural,
let it out
of his throat.
Right.
Yeah, no enunciation. It's very primal.
It is, yeah. It's definitely...
So probably some great directing there on his behalf.
Amazing strength in his voice. And it's... I mean, you just kind of see, like, everything at once in that one scream. That one roar. Like, it's just everything. But at least now he knows that they're okay. They can get up. You know, you see, like, he's 6'4". I don't know how tall... Bill Skarsgård, he's 6'4". I don't know how
he's a tall dude.
The girl that plays June 27 is, but definitely not that tall.
No.
So, like, he's literally just kind of picks her up like a baby. Like, just kind of like, it's like, here, lean on me. And, like, probably nothing to him. So, then they end up, leaving. And I don't know exactly where it is that they go, but they do end up making it back to, like, the safe place or whatever. So, yeah. Eventually, like, literally everyone dies except them two. I don't remember.
Right. All's well that ends well. A bunch of corpses in the wake of the whole thing.
Right, exactly. I don't remember what happens to Melanie, though.
He actually kills her with a camera live during the...
Oh, yeah. She goes, wait, no. And then,
because she's talking trash. She's like, hurry up and kill me. It's just going to make my ratings better, make me a martyr. I
totally forgot about that.
Yeah, so he hits her, like, in the face with the camera, and it shatters the lens of the camera. So you see it, like, from what the people at home are seeing. And it's so cool because, like, there's, like, blood spatter.
Right, exactly.
And you see, like, the screen gets totally distorted, and you just see her eyes roll back in her head, like the classic Hollywood thing when someone dies.
Yeah.
And then they show... Oh, yeah, 100%. Then they show, like, the live part of it where he just did it. And there's, like, these spikes on the end of the camera. God knows why. But, yeah, he basically impaled her and crushed her face with
Literally, yeah. So
Pretty
I guess
cool
that's how they all died, yeah. But, yeah, I mean, overall, I really like the movie. I give the movie, like, 10 out of 10, honestly.
Yeah.
10 out of 10 movie.
Yeah, good movie. Maybe 9.5. Just because you got to leave something. So,
right. Okay.
9.5 or a 9.75.
9.75.
As close as I can get to 10 without giving it a 10 because, you know, there's always some room for improvement.
Right,
like
exactly.
Maybe they'll make a Boy Kills World 2. I don't know what the plot would be, but I would definitely put money down to see that, baby.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
Just to see, like, where they go after that. That'd be cool. But, yeah, no, I mean... Yeah, I mean, I personally thought it was a really good movie. Great acting. And
unique storyline.
Very funny, but also very dark. And, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, so, yeah, great movie. Give it a watch if you don't mind some gore.
Right. Again it's R-rated.
It's R-rated.
But there's no
sexual stuff. So
scenes.
As long as you're cool with, like, watching, you know, some violence with your kids, because it is all fake. It's a movie.
Right.
But as I think Andy coined it, there's no skippable moments in the movie, which is where you're watching a movie with your siblings and or parents, and it's kind of sexual.
Want one of them scenes.
So you got to hurry up and fast forward and skip through it so you can get to the rest of the movie. So no skippable stuff.
No skippable scenes.
Yeah.
But yeah, overall, I think it was a good movie. Definitely give it a watch if you're into that type of stuff. The fighting's very cool, very advanced, and actually I saw a lot of behind the scenes, and Bill Skarsgård did a lot of work. Like, first off, he got ripped for this role. Second off, obviously he's a fantastic actor. Another thing was he actually had to train to learn to fight with like knives, and he had to train to learn to fight in that type of style that the shaman taught him. Pretty amazing stuff. So
yeah, Tyler Burton Smith did the screenplay. Great job writing there. Yeah, just everybody, good job all around.
Good job, great movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty much all I have to say. What about you?
Yeah, check it out.
Check it out.
It's cool.
It's a good movie.
Yeah, a lot of good actors and actresses in it. Happy to report that Jessica Roth isn't that young. 1987, so yay me.
Yay! You have a chance.
No, just not too creepy.
It's not. Yeah, it's not like she
seems pretty young in the
her
movie,
teens
but she's
or something.
actually older. Ironically, she's older than Skarsgård is, who plays her older brother in that movie, 1990.
I know, how funny is that?
Kind of funny.
It
okay.
is funny.
All right.
Anyway,
Yeah, I got nothing else.
I got nothing else either.
Okay.
Thanks for listening.
Support your local
Potheads.
cinema.
Totally.
Yeah. Thanks for listening to our show and me babble on.
Yep. All right. Thank you guys for listening, and we'll catch you on the next episode. Bye.
Bye.